And now David Goodfriend, a Democratic strategist and former Deputy Staff Secretary to President Bill Clinton. And Siegfried is a Republican strategist, although, Evan, you are supporting Hillary Clinton. Thanks for being with us. Hey, Evan, let's start with you. Let's talk a little bit about that debate prep that you heard from Donald Trump. Successful strategy for him. It worked during the primaries.
Well, Hillary Clinton is the master debater. She knows how to go out and get under his skin. As we saw in the primaries, Donald Trump really can't handle criticism from a woman. Look how he handled Carly Fiorina. If I were Donald Trump, I would actually be out there and I'd be practicing. I would have somebody like Laura Ingraham come in and throw everything in the kitchen sink at him so he's prepared. What Hillary Clinton is banking on is that in the debate, she will be able to get under his skin and she will show that he lacks the judgment and temperament to be president of the United States.
David, the Trump campaign, Trump himself, they've been going after Clinton pretty hard on a lot of different topics. Do you think that her fundraising these last couple of weeks in August, while a traditional move, was the right strategy for her? What would you advise if you were on that campaign?
Well, I talk to the campaign all the time, and I will tell you that if I'm in a boxing match and my opponent is flailing around, throwing wild punches like Donald Trump did when he went to Mexico and gave a speech and made himself look even more ridiculous than he did before, I'd say lean back and let your opponent swing and then come back at him and knock his block off when you take your shot. And I think that's exactly what's going on here. Why on earth would Hillary Clinton want to step in front of his wild swings? Let him do damage to himself, as he's been doing. And then I think this fall we're going to see an incredibly energized, well-funded, well-organized, well-oiled machine in the Hillary Clinton campaign, the Clinton-Kaine campaign. And you're already starting to see how Hillary Clinton is leading with points about Donald Trump. Look, today's Labor Day, for example. Labor is an interesting issue when it comes to Donald Trump. He is the most reactionary, conservative Republican.
He's not a conservative Republican.
Ever,
Let's be honest, David.
Ever.
He was a Democrat.
Hold on, let me finish here. He has put forward such an anti-labor platform that has his own workers in such an anti-human way that I think on Labor Day, of course, in Ohio, where he is, the contrast between him and Hillary Clinton, who's emphasizing her pro-worker, pro-labor credentials, it couldn't be even any more stark. And yes, I'm sorry, my friend, he is the standard bearer for the Republican Party today, and the Republican RNC chair, Reince Priebus, is following right in lockstep with those very same positions on labor. It is today's Republican Party.
Well, David, hang tight there. Evan, let me come to you on this. I was going to throw another question to him, but if you talk about, you know, Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, what that could mean for down-ballot races. Democrats need to net 4 seats to win control if Hillary Clinton were to win. So how does the Republican Party, which you are still a Republican, how does the Republican Party prevent those losses?
Oh, at this point, we need to pull out all our resources and stop working with the Trump campaign.
But that's not realistic, right?
You're hearing it more and more among Republicans. And
but not among Republican leadership. Well,
listen, Reince Priebus is essentially Reek from Game of Thrones when it comes to Donald Trump. It's going to take some strong Republicans standing up and challenging Reince Priebus and saying, you need to stop doing this. And you need to save down ballots.
We've seen it again and again. Never Trump folks have been covering him for 10 months. It hasn't happened so far. What's going to change?
When Republicans who are vulnerable, the Mark Kirks, the Rob Portmans, the Kelly Ayotts, all start screaming, I need your resources, stop wasting them on this conservative con man, that's going to be a big wake-up call, because if Reince Priebus wants to be reelected as the RNC chair, he's going to actually have to save Republicans. Carly Fiorina is getting ready to challenge him come in January, and we are actually doing a terrible job at outreach to every single group that we are trying to reach, millennials, urban voters. I actually talk about it in my book, how Donald Trump is bad for the Republican Party because he's going to be the way that many people view Republicans as, which we're not. And I'm sure David would agree that Republicans are not hateful. We're not xenophobic. We don't promote these white nationalists known as the alt-right. We believe in economic opportunity for all Americans and national security.
Kellyanne Conway, Donald Trump's campaign manager, just tweeted out, let's see if we can pull it up on screen, referencing something Kristen Welker talked about earlier, must be allergic to media, she writes, finally spent a minute with them. And then linking to this video of Hillary Clinton's coughing fit that Kristen chatted about with us at the top of the show. So, David, to you, setting aside the coughing issue that Kellyanne is going after, Hillary Clinton has been attacked by Donald Trump and his surrogates for weeks now for spending so many days, 270 plus, without holding a formal press conference. Should she hold one, and why hasn't she so far, even if only to stop the talking point?
Well, I would say to Ms. Conway, you've now stooped to attacking Hillary Clinton for coughing while speaking. So that's if that's the best you got, we're going to beat you and clean your clock. Now, I think when it comes to attacks against Hillary Clinton for her health, that's been made up and falsified with falsified videos. And Rudy Giuliani, a former prosecutor, should be ashamed of himself for jumping on that basic lie. And I think when it comes to Hillary Clinton's strategy with the press, she is now leaning into a Labor Day, post-Labor Day strategy. You're going to see a lot more of her in front of the cameras. You're going to see a lot more of her in front of the press. And frankly, as I said earlier, Donald Trump is the master of putting himself in front of the press, and yet when he does so, it seems that he sort of digs himself deeper into the same hole that he's in. And I'll go back to the Mexico trip. Brilliant stagecraft, Mr. Trump, brilliant. Everybody was talking about you. The only problem is, by the end of the day, at the end of your immigration speech in Arizona, you'd said nothing new, and in fact had doubled down on your immigration stance, which only served to alienate Arizona Latino voters in the very state we were speaking. So, yes, he is a master of getting attention, but I am not convinced that it is serving him or the Republican Party, including those down-ballot races that my Republican colleague just mentioned. I don't think it's serving them very well. And I think Hillary Clinton's strategy is well thought out, and it's going to be very fun, frankly, to see in these debates how Donald Trump reacts to somebody, a woman standing next to him, giving it as she gets, and let's see how he handles it. I look forward to that.
So about 3 weeks now from those debates. Evan, last one for you. You know, I know that you are not a Trump supporter, but we're looking at some of the polls nationally. While this isn't a national referendum, it's a snapshot of the race. They're seeming to tighten at least a little bit recently. As somebody who wants to see Republicans down ballot succeed, do you want this race to tighten, and how do you get this race to tighten up more than it's been?
Well, for the sake of the Republican Party, Donald Trump needs to be beaten by as many electoral votes as possible. It needs to be an overwhelming victory for Hillary Clinton. For Republicans, for House members and Senate members, we need to win those as well. That's the only way we're going to be able to stop Hillary Clinton and her agenda. And Donald Trump is basically bringing out a part of the Republican Party.
I mean, this is a split-ticket strategy you're hoping for here. That people will vote against Trump but vote for the down-ballot.
That's why Evan McMullin is running for president. He's going out as a strong conservative candidate to give conservatives some sort of reason to go out and vote for the Senate candidate who's in danger. And I think Donald Trump should be applauding it. Instead, he's taking his Donald Trump at a time when he's trying to unite the party. He's attacking Jeff Flake because he said he's not ready to vote for him just yet. That's not uniting the party. That's splitting it apart even more.
We're going to leave it there. Evan